Hi everyone. So I know it's been a while since I've made one of these videos. Um, just is what it is. I'm not going to explain myself. It's a battle. But anyway, so I've been getting this message for this video, and hopefully I can articulate it as clearly as it is channeling it. So um, this is about the light and the dark and the difference between being made of the light and the dark, which we all are because we're humans, and that's the yin yang, the light, the dark. It's a balance. Even the planet, the seasons, everything. Everything is in a balance of light and dark. So that's made of light and dark. That's different than being for the light and the dark. So I am for the light. I am a light worker. I'm also a dark worker because I work with the darkness inside of myself. That's what a dark worker does. It's more about the self than it is about the collective. A light worker is more about the collective. So I work for the light. So in my experience, okay, sorry, I had to pause it. In my experience, there are unconscious people who are working from the darkness and conscious dark, like people who are working for the dark agenda. Um, so, like, I have done some horrible things in my past from an unconscious place. I've hurt people that I loved, that I cared about, just out of an inability to deal with my own inner darkness. And that's different than intentionally hurting people or intentionally trying to bring others down, intentionally having just like a shitty agenda. That is the difference. So we are all made from light and dark, and we all are battling our own inner light and darkness. But are you for the light or are you for the dark? Are you constantly trying to, bring light into dark situations, or are you the darkness? I mean, I don't think anybody that's listening to me is going to be like, yes, I am the darkness. But who knows? I mean, you could be. But are you doing that consciously or are you doing that unconsciously? Because people who have been through a lot of trauma, which honestly, it's my opinion that just being born on this planet, the way that society is run right now, and just the way that they manipulate our minds to constantly be in a state of fear and worry and separation from the people that we love, separation from love for ourselves. It's my opinion that we're all traumatized just from that. But anyway, if you're traumatized and you don't even have the consciousness to pull yourself out of these traumatic loops, you may inflict pain on others unconsciously because you're also inflicting it on yourself. It's unconscious. We don't mean to do that. Like the first, I would say, 27 to 30-ish years of my life, I was unconsciously inflicting pain on myself and others. But that's just humanity. Now I'm conscious, and I don't ever consciously hurt anybody. There's a difference. So are you operating from a state of consciousness where you are bringing light into situations, you are being truthful with others, you are following what makes you happy, You want others to be happy too. You want others to follow what makes them happy. You don't want other people to suffer. That means you are for the light. Okay? So if you don't feel like you're operating from that state of consciousness, what can you do to stop unintentionally hurting others and yourself? Because that is the human condition. Until you rise up out of it, that's just the loop that we're caught in this matrix. It's designed to make us fight with each other, fight with ourselves, question others, question like our entire existence. It's all the matrix game. Like, we're not even going to get into that right now, but just be aware of the distinction. If you don't feel like you have that level of consciousness, reach out to me. We'll talk about it, and I've got a lot of tools that can help you. That's specifically what I'm good at, is bringing in high frequency energies and clearing out the muck so that you can actually feel and experience those high frequency energies and not just be in a constant state of fear and depression and anxiety that we've been programmed to do. Okay, so reach out to me if you're not already part of my soul family. I don't know who you are, or you don't follow my YouTube, or you're not in my Patreon. Reach out, or follow one of those things. Like, I'm only getting started here, so there's much more to tell, much more to create, much more to do. Yeah, but that's a really important distinction, and this is where spiritual warfare comes in, because if you are for the light and you're consciously for the light and you're consciously trying to bring that into other people's consciousness, you're a target. I'm a target. Other light workers that I know, we are targets because we're of the light, for the light, and we're in tune with our own darkness enough to be badass enough to fight their darkness. So that's like the trifecta, and that's why we are a threat, and that's why the spiritual community, whether you are aware of it or not, we are the biggest targets for the dark agenda. In the 5D world, in the 3D world, everywhere. It's spiritual warfare, and all you need to do to be on top of the game is make sure that you are for the light. It doesn't mean that you don't have darkness inside of you. That doesn't mean you can't get mad. Anger is fuel. You're allowed to be mad at how shitty people are and how shitty society has been, and just like all the matrix garbage, you're allowed to be upset at that. And whatever has happened in your life, whoever has hurt you, what you were born into, like, these are things that you have a right to be upset about. Light working is not just pretending that the world doesn't suck and being like all butterflies and rainbows all the time. It may start with that because everybody's just trying to crawl out of their own pain. But once you actually get deeper into that, you realize that, like, you need that darkness to have the strength to fight, for the light. So yeah, it's just something to be aware of. Like, what consciousness level are you at? Do you even know what I'm talking about? Are you interested in knowing what I'm talking about? What is your life like? Do you feel like you're constantly being dragged further into the matrix and the programs and, separating from family, friends that don't understand you? What is happening in your life? Do you feel like you are ascending to a higher frequency, or are you being dragged down into the one that they are trying to drag you into? Just, if you can answer the question for yourself and you want to lead a better life, or you want to drag yourself out of this, you know, like trauma pit or whatever, then all you have to do is make a conscious decision to do that, and then the help will come. That's what, you know, that's what the light does. It helps. It helps shine a light on your own darkness so that you help with just the frequency of the planet, the darkness of others. And really, if you don't want to do any of that, it just helps you live a life where you're not constantly in a state of panic and stress and fight or flight mode, because that's what we were all born into. Okay, and it's shitty. And coming from a place where I did feel like that every day, and I actually don't anymore. Like, I still have my down days. I still you know, have days where I have to like clear some really tough shits, layers and layers, but that's not the 100% 24/7 norm. That's just like a rare occurrence now. And it always gives me a boost of light after I clear that darkness. So, like, this is not a losing game. This is a winning game, and there is a light at the end of the tunnel. If you're not seeing it yet, reach out to me, and we'll figure it out. Okay. All right. Sweet. Got that video out while the baby was sleeping. I say that's a win for today. All right. And it's a beautiful day. It's awesome. All right. Love you guys.